and welcome to this episode of the Counselor's Desk. Today is going to be very interesting. I'm very excited already. I promised you I'll be coming back to talk on the last two demonstrations of love, the romantic love and the passionate love. But you know what? People have been asking me if this love thing is all about the women. The husbands have been asking, so they don't need love? they need respect, they get it, but with no love at all. So the wife does not have to show them any kind of love, or the wife needs compassionate love, or the wife needs companionship love. So what about the husband? Well, today we are going to talk about the husband's love need. But I must warn you, I can't take all that time I'm using to talk about the woman's or the wife's love need. I can't take the same time with the husband, because the husband is the initiator of the love and the wife is the responder of the love. Stay tuned, you will be blessed by today's episode. The husband also has love needs. You know, sometimes when a husband has a particular need, he may not communicate that need to his wife, because he is wondering, how will the wife take it? How will the conversation end? But that's not a good thing. I want to advise the husbands, whenever you have a love need, tell your wife. And for the wife, today I'm talking to you, a woman is a responder. You know, the Bible says, husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church. And then the Bible further goes on to say, we love him because he first loved us. So, one of the ways to meet your husband's love need is to respond properly to the love need. Okay? So, for husbands, I may not be saying, oh, this is companionship love, this is compassionate love, and the like. But I will tell the wife that, forget about these names or these titles. Your husband needs love, and his greatest need is the way you respond to his love. Okay? Now listen very carefully. The Bible, our universal book of principles, or our book of universal principles, says something very, very revealing in the book of Titus. Titus chapter 2 verse 4 to 5 says this: these older women must train the younger women to love their husbands and their children, to live wisely and be pure, to work in the homes, to do good and to be submissive to their husbands. This verse is, in fact, is really interesting, because it brings out at least three things about a man's love need. Okay? At least three things. The first one is the Greek word. I hope you know that the Bible was written in some Greek. The Greek word for love here is a different word completely, from the Greek word love in Ephesians chapter 5, which says, husbands, love your wife. Interesting. You can do the study yourself. In fact, I would advise you to do the study yourself. Go to any good Bible dictionary, like the Sword Bible, and find out the words that were used for love. Husbands, love your wife. That love there is agape, God's kind of love. That's why I said it was unconditional love, it was initiative love, and it was sacrificial love. Now in Titus, the Bible says the older women should teach the younger ones how to love. The love here in Greek is phileo. How to phileo their husbands. So and that kind of love is a love which brings a friendship into a relationship. Friendship. So according to God who created the man's love need is first of all, one, responding to his love, not rejecting his love. And I tell you, my dear young lady, when you reject a man's love, you have done a lot of harm to him. Men don't know how to handle rejection. Okay? So that's the first thing. Secondly, you have to put friendship into a marital relationship. And when we talk of friendship, you know, I mean, you are a woman, you know what friendship is. You know what friendship entails, okay? You know that friendship entails loyalty. Oh, my friend said I should come to her birthday party. Oh, I have to go. My friend, my friend, my friend. Now, the Bible is saying, befriend your husband. That kind of loyalty that you would show to a friend because the friend has this and that, do it for your husband. Friendship talks of loyalty, talks of commitment. You want to know how your husband would, what to do for your husband to know that you love him? Be committed to him. Be committed. Whether he does things rightly or wrongly, you are committed to him. A woman must not always think that, oh, I don't feel, I must feel something in my heart before I love my husband. No, you have to be committed. Friendship entails commitment. Are you getting the point? Your husband needs it. Where he can be certain that, look, my wife, since my wife says she will do this, she will do it for me. I can trust her in that. She's committed to me. She's committed to me as a person. Okay? Good. So, befriend your husband. That kind of friendship that takes loyalty, commitment, support. We support our friends. They have this, we are there. They have that, we are there. Support. Your husband's love need is in this line of commitment, support, standing by him, even if all the whole world doesn't have his time, is rejecting him. You stand by your husband. That's when your husband will know that my wife loves me. Okay? Yes, husbands have love needs, but their love needs are not exactly the same as the love needs of the wife. So you have to understand that. That kind of commitment, which is you like his ways. He's my friend. I love him. I like his ways. Good. Your husband who should be your friend. Like his ways. Support him as a friend. Now the second thing in this passage, this God is very great. He made the man and he taught us how to love the man. A kind of love that should be taught and learned. The elderly women should teach the younger ones how to love their husbands. That kind of love that should be taught or that can be taught and learned is not just emotions. What the husband needs is not only emotion. Ooh, hey, my husband, and it ends there. No. The kind of love that should be taught and learned is practical love. Doing. Yeah, your husband would like it if you embrace him and kiss him. He likes that. But it should not end at that. Have you cooked his food? You get the point? Have you taken care of his person? Maybe his clothing? Have you made sure his environment is good and okay? And there is life in his environment? Do you notice when he's going out of the house and maybe his hair is unkempt? Do you even do anything about it? That is the kind of love that should be taught. You get the point? I just want to lay a foundation for you to know that love is not only you, wife, that should experience love. The husband needs love too. But his own kind of love is very practical. Very, very practical. Do you show concern about his job? He comes back home. He's trying to talk about maybe some issues at his job site. You don't have time about that. You don't even care to find out. Or yesterday, honey, you said this and that happened at the job site. What about today? Did you straighten it out with your boss? You don't even remember. That is not love to a husband. Okay? So it's practical. You have to care for his concerns. Maybe his job, hobbies, his friends. Oh yes, his friends. And his bodily needs. We are still coming to passionate love. I'll tell you how. A husband needs sex. That is, he needs it. So we're still coming to that. But you cannot say you love a husband if you're not giving him what he needs practically. So that passage tells us that a husband needs practical love. Now, listen. Listen, my dear young lady. When God said, it is not good for a man to be alone, I'll make for him a helper fit for him. That word helper there is E-Z-E-R, Ezer. And that Ezer, which means helper, in the Hebrew Bible, according to one of my teachers, she says, she's a Jew, that the word Ezer occurs in the Hebrew Bible, that means the Old Testament, only 15 times. Listen very well. And of that 15 times, 14 times refer to God. Ebenezer, God is my helper. That word means helper. Of course, other words are used for the word help in the Bible, but the word Ezer is used only 15 times. It's a Hebrew word. And 14 of those 15 times is used for God. But the only one time that that word is not used for God, guess who that word is used for? The woman. I will make for him a helper. So the word that is used for God, God being our helper, in this passage, that very word is used for a woman being a helper. I am telling you, if your husband does not see you as a helper in his life, no matter the any kind of love you show to him will fall short of his expectations and of God's expectations. That's why the older women should teach the younger ones to be able to help, to be helpful at home, to be helpful at home, to be able to, there are some things in your husband's job that you can do for him. You can wake him up, honey, please. You said you'll get up this night and do this thing. Honey, please, can I make coffee for you to be awake? Do it. Do it. Try and do it. It's important. It's your job, And finally, when he does, he said, "Child, if you did not get me up at night, if you did not make that coffee for me, I may have lost this opportunity or this job or this interview or this something." So a man's love need is really practical. You should help him. Notwithstanding, I'll still try to go to companionship love and the other kinds of love and tell you how a man needs it to be manifested, okay? Great. Now, companionship love. Quality time. Don't think that only women need quality time. Men also need quality time. They need time alone with you. And they don't only need time alone with you. Men have this thing in them that they like to brandish their wives. There are times your husband will want to take you out to an occasion, not because you are really necessary there, but because he just wants you to sit near him like a bouquet of flowers, beautifying him for people to see. It is the truth I'm telling you. It is the truth I'm telling you. The problem is when women start having children. When you get married to your husband and you are just the two of you, you can be going out and he's brandishing you and you people are happy. But when children start coming, you must be very careful because the children have taken the place of husbands in most homes. And the husbands don't like that. They really, really don't like that. Of course, a man cannot be jealous of his child, so don't push him towards that. This thing of babies. I'm laughing because almost every woman does that. This thing of babies sleeping in between you and your husband. that we do all the time, it's not a good thing. Now I'm talking about companionship love. you know, children, house activities, church activities, social groups. Just this cell phone can take the place of your husband and make you, young woman, not give him the quality of companionship he needs. No husband likes that. When you are coming in back from wherever you are coming from, you are hello. Why is that? No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. So how are you? You are on your phone. You come back from wherever you are coming. You enter your house. Your phone. Your husband is sitting at the couch. Your phone is on your ear. You talk. You enter the room. Come back. Enter the kitchen. You are still talking, and you are doing things with one hand. You take maybe his food and come and put on the table. So you take the other thing. My God. What's that, young lady? We do that all the time, and it's wrong. Okay, when you come back home and your husband is in the house already, tell whoever you are talking with that, please, excuse me, I'm back home, my husband is here, please, we'll continue later on. Okay, give your husband quality time. That he needs companionship. As I said, husbands like to brandish their wives. Let him take you out. Respond to that, or ask him, honey, we've not been out for quite some time. Initiate it. The going out. Let it not be that he is the one always, trying to take you out. There's a woman in the Bible called Vashti, a queen. She lost her position. The husband was holding an occasion in his palace, and she was also holding an occasion in her palace. It's in the book of Esther. You can read it for yourself. And the husband sent and called for her, because the Bible actually says to show her off to people, and she refused, and the wife lost her position. So it is in men, and it's even in God, to display also, his church. It's in men to show off their wives. Please, wives, husbands too need love, but their love is practical and not only emotional. So did you get that? Good. Now the next point is, men need to be heard. They need to be heard and understood. Young woman, your husband can't talk most of the time the way you can talk. And most of the time you talk to him and you don't hear what he is saying to you. And they complain that is so frustrating. Men complain that women hear what was originally in their minds. That they hear what was originally in their minds. A man can say, I didn't say that. She will say, that is what you said. So, companionship love, when you are with him, listen. When he's talking, please listen. Especially listen. Especially when a man is going through some issues in his personal or professional life. When a man is going through some issues in his personal life or his professional life, he's feeling a bit depressed, he needs you to listen to him. Okay? That is how you're going to give him companionship love. Don't talk all the time. Listen, this issue of talking all the time is a real weakness which we the wives, we need to work on, because most men need time alone. Yes, they need companionship love, but they also need time alone. When your husband comes back home from work, please give him a few minutes of quietness. I'm telling you, it will help you and help him. Of course, if if you've, like me, I used to wait for my husband, just waiting and waiting and waiting. When he comes, I would like to be with him and tell him all the, this happened, that happened. But we should, most women do that, but it's not that good, okay? I didn't know all of these things, so don't do what I used to do. Give him time. When he goes to the room and is trying to undress, leave him. If you follow him there and maybe embrace him, kiss him or whatever, then come out and let him have some time. He may just lie on the bed for a few minutes. It helps him a lot to reconnect, reorganize himself. And tell the children, hey, listen, daddy needs a few minutes to himself now. When he comes back out from the room, he will be ready to chat and talk. So that's a warning. Oh, no, not a warning. It's an advice. Although they need companionship, love, they need to be alone sometimes. Again, listen very well. This one is too important. Some men or most men, they want their space, especially after an argument. Listen. Some men, and most of them, want to be quiet, especially after an argument, when they have, people have fallen out on something. But if you keep, he says, okay, it's all right. You keep talking. He says, I have heard all. You keep talking. He leaves. You follow him. Most of the time, the women do this not because they want to drag the talk, but because they really want to be understood. Okay? Or they don't want the thing to end in a kind of way. But then professionals say that it can instead reinforce the cycle of, I'm going, you are coming, I'm going, you are coming, I'm keeping quiet, you are talking, I'm keeping quiet, you are talking. It is not the best. The wife is just taking a resolution and is pursuing him that, but you are keeping quiet, talk now, you are keeping quiet on me. Listen, if your husband is that kind that after an argument he wants to be quiet, let him be. Okay? What he's trying to do, he's trying to process the whole thing. Because he does not even understand what your problem is. So he's trying to process it. Men are often more logical. They are logical. They are trying to think how can he solve that problem? But you're not giving him space. You are just saying that you are keeping quiet on me. You are shutting me out. It's not the best. Okay? So some men, and most of them, would like to be quiet for some time after an argument. Don't misunderstand. Just wait for some time. If it prolongs, maybe the next day, or maybe in the evening, you can say, but how? You are still thinking about that thing, But don't insist at that time that he must keep talking and talking. That's going to become a quarrel, and it's not good. So we're talking about companionship, love, but I think I must give you some of this advice, okay? And by the way, husbands need peace and tranquility. They need it. So that talking and talking and talking, we call it nagging. Nagging will never accomplish a woman anything. I end with that for today's edition. Nagging is seeing faults and struggling to correct the faults and talking to the man and talking to him. It doesn't achieve anything. So give the man his space, give him peace, give him tranquility at home, okay, while you respond to his love and you love him practically and help him like an Ezer. How about that, young women? I hope everything is okay. We'll be back. I'll be coming right back to tell you how your husband needs you to be compassionate towards him. God bless you.